What up, dongers? We are here with a small patch review. We have a new patch and it's 1.4, and I'm here with Imsohumble.
Hello.
Nice to have you. Sith Holocron sadly can't be here, but we will think about his spirit, and there he is, and now he's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will talk through the card changes that Riot made, and we are quite happy about what they did, since we come from League of Legends, so we have some experience with Riot games, and they usually do good patches, small but good patches.
Exactly. Yeah, they push cards in a slow direction and only nerfs like broken stuff. Otherwise, they want to do as small changes as possible.
Yeah.
To not upset the meta too much.
Yeah. And here we have the overview. It's from Fair Jordan's Twitch. Link in the description, or you can just join. You have the link here. And it was sent to us by
Honestly Sarcastic
from the Hyperloops. You can check them out as well, and they are just in the description as well.
Yeah, okay. Which mainly do Star Wars Destiny content, but also a little bit of Runeterra.
Like we did before. Yeah.
Like we did before, indeed.
Okay, so let's have a look at the single cards. After we saw the overview, we have a slideshow. Excuse the bad quality, it's zoomed in, and yeah, that's all I could get from.
Yeah.
But
it's about 20 cards that are changed, so we're gonna try to do it fast, but we'll see.
So Anivia is changed by a cost reduction. She costed before, she was at 7, now she's at 6. So maybe we will see her more, since she's actually not be seen too many competitors, right?
Yeah, right now she's not popping up at all at Masters, and maybe 1 in 100 games. Like, it's very low, and maybe this patch will make people experiment a little bit with her, and probably won't push her to the top yet, but maybe we talked about it a little before, like maybe she will hit a B tier or A, but not the absolute top.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be hard to. She's competing a little bit with Sejuani, and Sejuani is still very strong, and she did not get a nerf.
Yes.
But that's the route.
Yeah. I'm happy to see that, since I like to play this deck where you copy Anivia and have 3 on the board. But
yeah, and you can do that 1 round earlier now, probably.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting. So let's look at the next card, which is Darius. His health points got increased by 1.
Yeah, which is kind of huge in one way. Like, for me, the health is usually more important than the damage, because you want the card to survive an extra round. And Doris already has so much damage, so he kills basically any card anyway. So it's very huge that he gets an extra health, so we can, if you play him, he survives his first attack or a block. So that might push him into some Noxus decks that right now chooses to play without him completely, or out champions. So we'll see if that's enough to put him back in decks.
You had this deck with Thresh, and that worked quite fine before.
Yeah, that was a quite fine deck with Thresh and Darius, and maybe it's gonna work a little bit better now, because one of the issues was that it was quite easy to get rid of Darius. So we'll see. I'm gonna try it out at some point, probably.
You can't kill him with a Mystic Shot and some 3 damage spell now. Nope. You need to have 2 3 damage spells, or a special unit that has 6. Okay.
Exactly.
So let's look at the next card, which is Braum. He got quite a lot of changes. His costs were, but it's a buff, though his costs had to be increased to 4.
Yeah.
1. And he can deal damage with it, which is quite huge. What do you think?
That's the biggest part actually with his rework, is for me, is that he does damage. Like he can kill the wieners, what you're gonna call them, that blocks. Like usually before, you just want to take in the strongest guy, and gets so much stacks as possible. But right now you can use him to kill units for free, basically. And first time now also he spawns a Poro. So he's insanely buffed in one way. That's why he's increased in cost, of course. So
that Poro usually costs 3, right? So now for 1 you get a Poro, a free Poro, and an attack damage. And the only downside is that the second version of him, so if he levels up, he has 1 less health.
Yeah, which is fair, I think. And like Freyord has a lot of like buffing cards, like the card for 0 that buffs with 2 health. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a problem most of the time. Most of the time it should be just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's definitely people are gonna try him a lot, I think. Then we will see if it's enough, because like Anivia, he's been really, really far down in the pecking order. So we'll see.
You can combine him is what I found is with Vlad. Maybe he will. We will see him.
Maybe Vlad Brown is something to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next card I did never see before in my ranked games, which is the Basilisk Rider.
Same here.
Yeah, so he's a 4-cost, 5 and 2 before, has Allegiance, Grant Me +1/+1 and Overwhelm, so usually you play him in a mono deck or a nearly mono deck, so he gets a 6 and 3, and now he will be so he's a 5 and 3, and with the Allegiance thing he will be a 6 and 3. 6 and 3, yeah. 6 and 4, sorry. 6 and 4.
6 and 4, yeah.
So that's the change. For 4, a 6 and 4, that's with Overwhelm. That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. It still has the Allegiance thing, and it is a Noxus card, right?
Yeah.
And right now, at least, you rarely play Noxus like a mono Noxus deck. That is very rarely seen. Yeah. So if this card becomes like so good that you want to do it because of that, that might pop up. Otherwise, I fear like this card will just make it into the decks, but not be. It might not be like OP, and that's probably Riot's intention, that it's not going to be OP. But if somehow Noxus mono decks becomes a thing, then this card is going to do really well, like really well.
4, that's great. Okay. The next card is Genevieve Elmhard, and she is a 6-cost, never seen her before as well in my games, and she her power is increased to 5 and her health is increased to 5 as well. So if you summon her, she gives other allies +1/+1 this round.
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
She is a scout and has challenger.
Yeah, I've seen her pop up a little bit here and there, but she's not like a very played card for sure.
She's not elite, so nothing for an elite deck, but she's Demacia, so Demacia likes these things to buff the units and swing in with a big blow, and she has challenger and scout, so that's 2 interesting things. You could take a look at her. She got buffed.
Yeah, absolutely. She's somewhat playable now. So with this buff, what was the buff now again? You said I can see it.
Increase in damage, so from 4 to 5, and from health from 4 to 5.
So she's a 5 and 5 instead of a 4 and 4. Yeah, that's actually quite a big buff. And 6-cost units are in a bad spot. So she's competing for the spot with Citra. And
Citra is bonkers.
And Citra is still really good, but if you need the scout thing, and Challenger is really good in the meta, like the Neverglade, it's a really problematic dude right now. So things like that, having Challenger and Scout can make her so valuable now when she's a 5 and 5 that she's gonna be played over Citra, and we'll just have to see. But I think she's looking very interesting.
Maybe in a Quinn deck or so. Okay.
Yeah, in a Quinn deck she would be definitely very good.
Yeah. Okay, so the next card we have is the Heroine, I played that when I started the game. That's revive the 6 strongest allies that died in this game and grant them Eternal. The cost from 10 is reduced to 9, probably because it didn't seem much play.
Yeah, the Harrowing, yeah. Like, so basically, is it decreased in cost from 10 to 9,
Yes.
you said? Yeah. It will probably still not see a lot of play. I think. But it might. Like, it might just... turn 9 and 10 is a huge difference. Especially if you're the one attacking in round 1, because that's when...
Yeah.
Well, if you're attacking round 2, it's also huge,
Yeah.
because to get to round 10 or 11 is even huger. So, very few decks... first of all, you have to play a late game deck, so it has to be a control deck with Shadow Islands. So it's still pretty narrow.
Yeah.
But like it's a good buff, and it's one of those cards you don't want to be played that much, because probably a pretty bad feeling
Yeah.
to get the Harrowing too often.
Yeah. And destroys this card, so you have to be very careful if you play that.
Deny destroys that
Yeah.
card hard.
Yeah. So another cards from that region is They Who Endure and Escaped Abomination. Probably because of the dominance of the Callista deck. What do you think? So I will just say what happened. They Who Endure was a 6 cost, and now it's a 7 cost. And Escaped Abomination, the health got reduced by 1. And I think it's still an awesome card, but not that good. So.
Like, both cards are still awesome. The one who endures is a Freyr card, but but they are commonly seen in the Callista deck. I think if we start with the Escape Abomination, it's still a very good card, but now it's way easier to like block it and kill it. So it's still a significant nerf, like, because, as I said, for me the health is more valuable than the damage. So I think this is a harder nerf than if they went to a 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 is a quite common damage on 2 or 3 costs.
A lot of spells just 3 damage, and a lot of champions have 3 health, so 3 damage. So it is a significant nerf. The card is still very good. It will still be played. We'll see how much it sinks the deck, basically, but it's still good.
Do you think?
But it's significant.
Do you think Callista will stay in the meta? That deck?
Yeah, at least at the start. I think that we will go through all the things, but the Crime Zone things, the Crime Zone Disciple and the Noxus part of that, is not getting hit in this patch, what I can see.
Okay.
So those aggro decks will be even stronger compared to it, so I think that might like push her out a bit, but she will definitely still stay relevant. She will maybe lose her S tier spot to an A tier.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the other card, They Who Endure, will kick in one round later, and then they play with Atrocity, also kicks in 1 round later. So that might be an even huger nerf to the deck, to be honest, because that's a lot of their games closed out that way.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Thanks. So the next thing is what I really like about Riot Games. They listen to critique, and that's what the wording of cards was strange. So they put in some changes, and one of those changes is the nap thing. But the nap also, so if you that's for those plunder decks.
Yeah.
The nap also is changed into, so when you steal cards, you draw them from the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
Which
huge difference.
Yeah, which means in my eyes it means 2 things. You have, if you don't get, since it doesn't draw champions, you don't draw your champions earlier for the other person, and you don't draw into the buffed units, right?
Yeah. So it's sometimes a nerf, like if right now you help Heimerdinger come earlier, that's basically only time when this one is going to be better, because a lot of decks right now play with Omen Hawk, buffing the next creature and stuff like that. Follower, not creature. Yeah. And now you will just be picking from the bottom of the deck, which is I think significantly worse, but still good. And I think that was a really good take on how to nerf this, because you avoided the problem of hiring or lowering the cost on the pilfered goods, for example. Yeah. And you didn't destroy the plunder mechanic completely. So I liked it.
Yeah, and you're a main MF Sejuani player, and
yeah,
so the deck can still be played, right?
Probably it's probably they are hitting the black market merchant with a health bar on him, and that's super huge. We will see how huge that is, but that might destroy the foundation of the deck a bit. So
so it's a 2-1 now. It was changed from a 2-2. Yeah.
If it still be a 1 and 2, it wouldn't matter. But the fact that it's a 2 and 1 might be really problematic. We will see. But I'm worried about that. Just for the deck. Yeah. For the game, it might be good still, because he's absolutely too good right now.
Yes, absolutely good. Okay, the next thing is Poros again. They just got some buffs last time, right? Didn't they? So, at least they got some cards. And now the Poro Herder, he's a support character, and he was a 4 cost with 3 and 4, and he draw Poros. 2
drew 2.
And
Poro.
And now he's a 2 cost. He has 2/3, and when he's summoned, you draw a Poro, just one. If you have a Poro.
So 1 Poro.
So that's a huge decrease in cost, decrease in health and damage, and a decrease in Poros. So
I think it's a big buff for him, because you summon 2 units, and doing that earlier is just better. Like, and a 2 and 3 for 2 is pretty good in itself. You have the hired gun. Yeah. That's exactly the same, but that one obviously do vulnerable instead. So here you get an extra dude to fight with. The Poros does usually have like something like a toughness or a fearsome or something like that.
So it's not summoned, it's drawn.
Oh, you draw it. Sorry, you draw it. So I think you can start to like. The hired gun is a really good card, but this one will be like slightly below it and can probably find itself into some decks at least. A little bit more niche probably, but that's definitely better than what it is right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to people playing those Poro decks again. Okay.
Yeah.
And the second Poro card is Aurora Borealis. You create 2 random Poros from any region and 2 Poros next, which is great in a Poro deck. And the cost is decreased from 7 to 6.
Yeah, like this is a little bit like Anivia. We don't know how good that will be, like because it's not played at all right now. But since Braum is buffed, the Poro Herder is buffed, and this one gets buffed, maybe all the buffs together like makes a great deck. It's really interesting to see, at least.
So the next deck we will build is a Poro deck for sure.
Yeah, for sure, and Sid will have to play 50 games with it.
Okay, so the next guy is Captain Farrell. He has Overwhelm, is an 8 cost, 8/8, and if you play him, you replaced your hand with
into Decimate.
Yes.
All cards in your hand to transforms to Decimate. Yeah.
And now you create 3 decimates in hand.
That's a huge difference.
That's a super huge difference.
Because sometimes you really have cards in hand you want to keep. He's still like an 8 cost, so he's not gonna be played significantly more, but like it's but he's big.
So 3 decimates, that means
like 12 damage.
12 damage, and he has 8, so that's 20.
Yeah, if you have the time to play him, right? He comes late. He costs 8, so you can probably not play decimate that round, but it's still better than turning your whole hand to decimates.
Yes.
It's a lot better, and now maybe he's actually like playable. I don't think he's playable right now. Now he actually might be a playable end game character. Problem with Noxus is like they are mostly aggro, and they usually want the game ended already round 8. But if we were talking a little bit like a pure Noxus deck, then this guy might get out there, you know.
Right. So we'll see. And the next change is the super mega death rocket that Jinx is firing, and it was a slow spell, still is. Was a 2 cost, and it's deal 4 damage to the enemy nexus and 1 to all other enemies, and it was fleeting, and now they removed fleeting and reduced the cost to 1, which is both huge changes, I think.
Yeah, and that's also an interesting way, like how to buff a character. Like if you with Jinx, say this is basically a buff to Jinx, right? And instead of like buffing health or attack damage or decrease cost, because that's probably a too huge of change, they help doing with the ability instead. So I really like that one, because that's a significant thing that it's not fleeting. And for 1, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. We will probably see Jinx be played some.
I hope so. I'm probably gonna try play Jinx. Yeah, I'm gonna try play Jinx. I love that character from League of Legends, so I'm glad that this one gets a little bit of a buff. We'll see what I'm gonna pair her with, but I'm definitely gonna try to play her.
Yeah. Okay. I think Sith Holocron paired her with Twisted Fate, right? That's a deck he built. There's a video about it.
Absolutely.
So
he will. That is both wants to draw cards and discard cards. So
he will take another look at that probably. Okay, the next guy is an 8 cost again. J Midarda. And he's elusive, and when he's targeted you draw 1, and now when he's targeted and survives you draw 1, but his cost is reduced by 2 to 6, and his damage and health is reduced from 6/6 to 4/4. So
so now he's a 6 cost
and no more elusive. No more elusive.
And no more elusive. So he's a 4/4 with draw a card for 6.
Yeah. That's enough. Isn't it?
No, I think it's like just a change because you can play him earlier. I think he's still bad.
Yeah.
So, like draw a card is great, but compare that to the Shadow Assassin that costs 3, is a 3/3, and draws a card. 2/2, sorry, 2/2. Elusive, draws a card, costs 3. Like he's twice the cost. Sure, he's twice the damage, but like.
And you only draw if he's targeted and survives, and he's only 4. So,
I don't like him. He seems too niche. Maybe you can find some weird combo deck that really helps that, but no, I would not. I will not be trying him out.
There are too many good draw cards. If you want to go Twisted Fate, you have many other options, and that's not one of them. Okay.
Yeah, I would choose him.
The next card, I like that buff, is Mind Meld. I played that in a Lee Sin Twisted Fate deck, and you faced it today in an expedition. It's this round set all allies' power and health to the number of spells you've played in this game, and it's the
Yeah.
cost is decreased from 8 to 7.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
The card's name was Mind Meld. Yeah, sorry. And that one would be good, like in a spell deck that has Bleach Water. We'll see. Like that card is like the other high cost cards that is never seen play right now. Maybe it pushes it into some decks, but maybe it just stays outside of it because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And it's also, as you said about the other card, like it gets totally destroyed by Deny.
Yes. Okay, and the next one is the Petty Officer. It's a 3 cost. He was a 3-1, and summon a powder keg or a random 1 cost ally from any faction. Now they changed the text a little to summon a powder keg or a random 1 cost follower. So they just that's basically the same. They just made the text more clear, which is something I like. And his health got increased by 1, so he's a 3/2 now for free, and summons a unit.
Huge buff.
Yeah.
Huge buff, in my opinion. Like going from 1 to 2 health is insanely big.
Yeah.
Like now he can't die to like a tiny Omen Hawk or something like that. He will actually kill something with value. So expect him to, like, if Bilgewater is a region to be reckoned with after this patch, expect him to pop up in decks because he's really good now,
So,
in my opinion.
So he's a card I could put in my deck. If
Yeah,
I
for
want
sure.
to summon, have a powder keg deck or
Yep. Maybe without
Even
powder
without,
kegs,
okay.
even like well, most decks can use powder kegs, but like some decks used him already.
Yeah.
When they needed him, so 3 and 2 instead. It's just great.
Okay.
He's not broke, but it's definitely a big buff.
Yeah,
so
you can play him now.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's Ren Shadowblade, and that's a huge change. I have 4 circles here. His cost got reduced from 8 to so he was an 8 cost, 6 and 4.
Yeah.
When the enemy summons a follower, grant it Eternal. So that text is removed. He's a 4 cost and a 3/3. Has quick attack, and if he strikes, you create a Shadow Fiend in hand.
Yeah. I need to check him out here.
Yeah, that's a lot of changes. Yeah, cost reduced to 8 from 4. Power decreased from 6 to 3. Health reduced from 4 to 3. And new text says quick attack, strike. So he has quick attack, right? And you create a Shadow Fiend in hand. So if he strikes, he always creates a unit in hand.
Yeah. That's good. That's basically netting you a card. And did he, let's see here.
Yeah.
And he's a 3 and 3 now instead of 4. Yeah, that's a huge change of the card. It's like it's almost a rework card.
Yeah.
Like it's not and it's most likely gonna see a lot more play than it is now. Like I never see this card. But now maybe it can reach some play. Like
Yeah.
it seems pretty good.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend is a great card in my eyes. It's played in these decks where you can
Oh yeah, it's a 4/3 affirm. Yeah,
1 and where you
for 1. Yeah, that's a really good card.
where you and if you have that card where you can give change the ephemeral status to the opposing player's unit.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
That's cruel.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's just a 4/3. That's a good blocker. It's a good attacker. Like, you can shut down rounds with that.
Yeah.
The trick will be like to keep him, the Shadowblade, alive. But like, Ionia has tricks, so I think that is a very interesting card that will definitely be tested. And we'll see where it will be used, but I think it will be used.
Yeah. Ephemeral decks are interesting.
Yeah, they're very interesting in general.
Okay, so now here we have the next card, which is She Who Wanders. A huge thing that obliterates all followers with 4 or less power, is a 10 cost and 10/10, and now she has regeneration, which is a huge buff, isn't it?
Yeah, regeneration is the only buff, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge buff for sure. She still costs 10, so I think she will still see a little bit of very little play.
Yeah.
Like, when you reach 10, it's not that common that it's filled with just 4 or less power characters. It's very good that it's from hand as well, but right now she's not played at all. I'm not sure the regeneration thing will cut it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that might not matter because she's coming so late. It's obviously a buff, but I don't think I'm gonna see much of her.
It's super interesting. You think about these cards much different than I do. I always see the expeditions because I love to play expeditions, and you see the master plays. So
yeah, maybe like in expedition, as you say, which games tend to go longer, that will matter. Yeah. But I think if you just look at normals or ranked games, I still think she will be like too expensive to run. People might try her a bit if you have this really late game control deck, maybe. But regeneration at round 10, like, how many games go past round 10? Like, it's not many rounds you will get that.
If they do, crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, if they do, crazy stuff happens. Okay. Yeah.
So now the next card is the Dredger, and I really like that change. I thought this card for 2/1 toss 3 was much too strong in these deep decks.
Yeah.
And now he is just a 1 cost, a 1/1. Still does the job, but he's now not as scary as he was before for 1.
Yeah, like he was too good in my opinion.
Yeah,
the deep deck fell off, but
Toss was seen as a disadvantage, but it's actually an advantage in that kind of deck, right?
Yeah, it's a must thing in the deck. It's a plus. Yeah. Like, he's a disadvantage, right, in your regular decks, like, because you obviously want your cards, but you don't play him in anything else than deep, and in deep he's like, the deep decks definitely fell off, as I said, so deep was not dominating anything, but he was still annoying, and they still kept their best cards, like, non-nerfed, so, and they didn't nerf the tossing, so this just slows down the early game a little bit. It's just a small nerf, a good Riot nerf. So I like it. It's not gonna sink the deep decks down to nothing, and it's just
that was a good wordplay. Does not sink the deep decks.
Yeah, it doesn't sink the deep decks.
Great. Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Great. So, and that change, the next one is one I like a lot. We were complaining about that card. It's Unyielding Spirit. It was not interactive, and now it's a fast spell. Finally, you can deny that spell.
Yeah, finally you can deny it or kill it. The character is gonna try to do it on. You can do a lot of things. That the card is, it was bad designed. It wasn't broken by any means, in my opinion. Like, it still costed 8, and you had some play around, but it was basically only Ionia that could do it. Now others will be able to do it too. You can single combat as Demacia, you can Noxian Fervor or whatever. So I love that change. Personally, for me, they could have removed the card altogether.
Yes.
Because I think it's a feel-bad moment when something is unkillable.
Yeah. Especially as long as Fiora exists, or that mechanic exists.
So right now, that's a really good nerf to Fiora, because she's easier to kill for everyone. Like, if you do that on a Radiant Guardian with toughness, then it's probably still only Ionia that can do anything about it. But against a Fiora, more can. So it's a good nerf. it's gonna make a huge difference probably, and maybe hopefully push it out on a meta. I from my from my opinion.
Okay, nice.
Hopefully.
So that's all the changes we have concerning cards. We have 35 minutes, so we wanted to make it short. That's not really short, but we did it.
Yeah,
went through all the
but
cards.
it's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and yeah, could you just say what you are most interested into the two most cards?
Yeah. The two most cards I'm interested in is obviously Anivia. I want to go back to that deck I built before. And I really like the Vlad Brown deck, so I will go through that as well and check these two decks out.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, it's the Super Mega Death Rocket, and to see if Jinx works. I'm not sure it will, but that one is nice. And then it's the Pretty Officer to see if that really pushes into everything.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm a little bit sad of the Plunder nerfs on those cards, but otherwise, for new decks, it's the Super Mega Death Rocket and Pretty Officer.
Okay, great. So thank you for your input, and thank you guys for watching. We will release more videos these days. Just feel free to subscribe to our channel, check our Discord, check Imsohumble's Twitch, check everything we have. It's in the description. If you came this far, you should do that for sure.
Yeah, if you came this far, you should do that for sure.
Yeah,
we're hosting tournaments in the Discord channel.
Yeah.
And we will. So if you're we talk decks and stuff like that. So join in if you want to chat or if you don't want to join tournaments.
Yeah. And
it's all fun.
Yeah, if you have a new deck, go there, post it. We can discuss it. We have some skilled players who can give you some feedback.
Yeah, skilled and bad players that can give you feedback, like Jan and me.
Yeah, you can decide.
You can decide.
Okay, so thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Dong is out.
Dong is out.